Okay, hello, and today we're going to be talking about partial fractions, but today we're going to be looking at the second type. So this second type has to do with a different denominator than what we looked at last video. So we're looking at something that's squared at the bottom here. So what happens when we go to split it is it's still going to be a plus b over something, but instead of splitting it like you normally would, so x minus 3 and x minus 3, because that's what this is, you'll find that you can't solve using the first method. So we do this instead. So we leave one not squared and we have one squared. So what we do to this one, we don't square root this fraction over here with the b on top. We're going to actually times this first fraction by x minus 3, so they can share the same denominator again and solve from there. So we're going to get, I'm just going to skip writing out the first bit. So we're going to get that, and that's going to be x minus 3 squared. So all I've done is I've times the first fraction by x minus 3 times x minus 3 divided by x minus 3, which is still 1, which makes it still equate and all that stuff. So then we're going to equate numerators again, as you normally would. And we get 2x plus 3 equals that. So now we have to choose our x values carefully again. So this time we're going to cancel out a by subbing x equals positive 3 into it. So we get 2 lots of 3 plus 3 equals, a gets cancelled out, equals b. So whatever this turns out to be, that's what b is. So we can just rub out this bit and work it out. So 2 times 3 is 6, plus 3 is 9. 9 equals b. So now I can rub out this first bit and put 9. Then we're going to change our equation here to incorporate b equaling 9. Right? So from here we can just sub in whatever we want to work out what a is, now that we know what b is. So I'm going to sub x equals 4, so we get 1 lot of a. So we're going to get 2 lots of 4 plus 3, and I'm going to transpose 9 across now. Minus 9 equals 1a. So this becomes 2 times 4 is 8, plus 3 is 11, minus 9, 11 minus 9, that's 2. So 2 is equal to a. And then we sub that in at the top here. And remembering again, we have to rewrite the entire question when we're showing our working out with a therefore. Write out the original fraction, put an equal sign, and show what a and b are using this method here. Okay, so let's move on to a slightly more complicated version of this. So if we had 9 divided by 1 plus 2x lots of 1 minus x squared, we can see that there's a whole new problem. How do we treat this? We know how to treat if there was just this square here, but now we have this extra thing to worry about. So instead of splitting it into two, we're going to split it into three different fractions. So a over plus b over plus c over. So we're going to have three different fractions when we split this one up. So the first one, well, what I normally do is 2x, so this normal fraction here, get it out of the way. So that's done. Then we're going to do 1 minus x, and then we're going to do 1 minus x squared. So that's how I order it, but it can be whatever order you want as long as it's still the same fraction and format. So now we're going to have to make the denominator the same as this denominator here, and we'll get a plus b plus c, and and we'll work that out. Alright, so b, we'll start with a first. So all a is missing is this denominator over here. So what we do is we times a by 1 minus x, all of that squared. So we get a lots of x, no, we get a lots of 1 minus x squared divided by 1 plus 2x lots of 1 minus x squared. But we want to make this all on one denominator, and we don't need to write what the denominator is each and every time. So I'm going to start equating the numerators right away. So then we have to work out b. So b's missing a 1 minus x to make it a 1 minus x squared, and it's missing what the denominator over at a has. So we have b lots of 1 minus x lots of 1 plus 2x. Now I'm going to have to go into a new line, plus, and this is going to be c lots of 1 plus 2x. And here's where we have to choose our x and y carefully. So we want to cancel out some of these values here so we can work out what they all equal and what relationship they have with 9 here. So I'm going to do c first. So I'm going to work out what kind of x I can sub in to get rid of c altogether, and by doing so I will also get rid of b so I can work out what a is. So I'll sub x equals a negative half, so it will get rid of everything. So what happens there, so I'm going to have to rewrite the entire thing. Is equal to a lots of To whoever's editing this, you can like fast forward because they've already seen it, or like cut to when I'm done. A lots of, what is it, and 1 minus x squared plus b lots of 1 minus x lots of 1 plus 2x plus c lots of 1 minus, no, or so we now, okay, whoever's editing, cut to now. So we now sub in, so we're going to sub negative half in. So negative half times 2, that's going to become negative 1. 1 plus negative 1, that's going to become 0. So C, this is going to become 0 here. And something times 0 is going to become nothing. It's just going to become 0. All of this is going to become 0. So now we are left with A lots of 1 minus x squared. And we know that x is negative 1 half. So negative 1 half minus minus 1. That equals 1.5, so that's 3 over 2 squared. A is equal to 9. Square it, 9 over 4. Lots of A is equal to 9. I can times by 4 and then divide by 9 if I really want to. But that's just going to give me 4. So 4 is equal to A. So now we put that in. A is equal to 4. Put that into our little equation here. 4. And we'll continue subbing in different numbers. So now I want to work out a way to get rid of so now I want to it's been so long since I've done this bloody thing. So I sub in x equals 1. What happens if I do fuck it, I'm gonna have to try it. So if we sub x equals 1, so we get 4 lots of nothing here, and then we get, it becomes b becomes nothing again, and we have 1 plus 2x. So 9 equals c lots of 1 plus 2, that's 3. So 3c is equal to 9, and 3 is equal to c. So we now can sub that in. Up the top here. And now we're going to sub x equals 0, so we can work out what b is. So x now equals 0. We get 1 squared is just 4, so 4 minus 9, and that becomes 3 times 3, which is again 9, minus 9 is going to equal B. Lots of 1, lots of 3. So that now becomes negative, that cancels that, that becomes negative 4 is equal to 3 lots of B. So now we can divide both sides by 3, and now B is equal to, oh no, no, I screwed up. So we have B lots of 1 minus 0, that's just 1, and 2 times 0 is 0, times 1. So, and then this over here cancels down to negative 4, and that equals B. So now, instead of writing negative 4 at the top here, we can just write 4 and change the sign at the front here, and that's the exact same thing. So now we write our therefore, and we write it all out again to show our working, and we're left with this. So that was partial fractions type 2. In the next video we'll be going over the third and final type of partial fractions, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comments below, and or contact me on social media, and I'll try my best to answer them all, and I will see you in the next video.